what you would like to see in this session. Please give us your feedback in the comment zone and we'll answer at the end of the webinar. Okay, we go now. Hello, I'm Pascal Girard. Welcome to everyone to this webinar. Thank you very much for your time. Today we will address the following question. How to see your PLC on the web. If you have any question or comments, you can use the chat zone. We will answer to your question at the end of the webinar. I am Pascal Girard. After 25 years of experience in development of industrial software and 10 years of sales, I'm here at Straton Automation since 3 years. I manage Straton sales worldwide, thanks to our large distribution network, Copa Data or partners, or directly. As we embrace nearly all industries, each journey with a customer is unique and exciting. This is the reason why I enjoy working with our customers to get the best solution. Matteo?
Thank you, Pascal, and welcome everyone. I'm Matteo Catania. I'm the Customer Service Manager of Straton Automation. My job is to assist my customer in their projects, and today I will show you what is possible with the Straton data server.
Thank you, Matteo.
Thank you, Pascal.
Let us have a look on the agenda of this webinar now. I will be with you during the first 20 minutes. First, I will introduce briefly the company and what we do. Second, we'll see the current need, which could be answered by a data server, part 2. At first, we'll see concrete cases of application. And fourth, what are the advantages of using a data server? Then we will show you an exclusive demo based on a platform with our data server in order to see how web monitoring can help you in your daily work. And we will end with a question and answer session. Thank you. We are Straton Automation in the Copa Data Group, 2 companies in one, having the same goal since more than 20 years. And this year is our 20th anniversary. Our goal is to develop automation software, Soft PLC Straton and Xenon SCADA. So we are sharing the core, the Soft PLC with Copa Data, also some stacks, the energy ones, and the same process and tools. And here in French Alps at Straton Automation, we develop software for industrial automation, which includes an editor, a soft PLC, the runtime, and other tools and stacks. Our goal is to provide a software in perpetual enhancing to bring our customers always a mile beyond competition. Some figures. This year, we have reached over 350,000 runtimes installed worldwide, and we are working with many partners since more than 15 years, and some of these are here today with us. Thank you very much. Here is the map of Copa Data Network, the countries in orange. We are active all over the world thanks to this extensive network added with distributors like in USA, China, or some places in Eastern Europe. You see, automation is everywhere. That's why we cover nearly all industries. In other words, all sectors that require control, regulation, or automated tasks. We have references ranging from mobile automation, very small devices, production machines, to power grid management with very big application, big data. 3 markets, so to summarize: embedded, automation, utility, and energy. If you recognize your application here, feel free to participate and let me know in the chat your questions or comments. We will answer at the end of the webinar. Thank you. Now we'll see the needs that such solution can answer. As said before, automation is everywhere. When you see trains, buildings, trucks, tanks, pumps, boats, factories, energy, could be TSOs or plants, there are our soft PLC behind, everywhere. Even if you've succeeded in bringing features like control, regulation, automated tasks, sometimes in a rough environment, you may need to connect to your devices anywhere for different reasons. This is what we'll explore today. So, remote monitoring is a solution for multiple needs. First case, you are at the operational side and you need to check or monitor the operations. That means having remotely controlled monitoring of your processes. Check if everything is running well. Need to access to an operation view with statuses, graphics, or parameterization view of the application. Example, get the status of a substation, the windmill, or the packing machines, whereas you are not in the neighborhood. Second case, you are working in the development team or at maintenance, and you would like to be able to make some troubleshooting by getting into the code, see how it runs in real time. And who knows, maybe some of you will want to develop your IC61131 application from the web in the future. And in both cases, you will like to go it from home and maybe from your smartphone. Let us see now some examples. In fact, in addition to performing the automation control functions, typical of a PLC, this device can also be programmed to interact with the outside world via the web. The libraries allow numerous TCP/IP networking features with which the PLC can exchange information with any other system on the internet. And today it's possible thanks to the data server technology developed by Straton Automation. Straton integrates a suite of tools which allows to implement numerous web debug functionalities. It connects to the web server given with the operating system. Then you will be able to exchange data with your PLC. For the operational needs, you can build yourself specific pages. We just have made this small example of copy machine. The Straton software allows the complete customization of graphic elements dedicated to each of your processes. From the editor, you can generate your own pages as easily and quickly as possible. Then you will be able to access remotely to the control of your processes and to the monitoring of your applications. You can either access to your PLC through an interface in Node-RED, for instance. Still, for operational needs, you can have a look on this solution of top-down management made by our partner, Brodersen. With this movie, Outstation 4.0 Get Inside with QR code, they explain the following. By just clicking on the QR code of a machine, you can see monitoring screens like this page of IOs. Very easy. And here we are in an IC61131 FBD diagram. Second case, we are at the development, debugging on maintenance. We need to see the execution of programs and get possibility to read-write variables during execution and without having installed anything, I should say. This feature is pre-installed in the runtime and is accessed if there is the Straton data server active and if the device gets a web server. That can be Apache and LightTPD. Then you make remote diagnostics of the execution of your program, your application. You see this IEC 61131 view where you can see variables evolving You can also change their values. You see it changing in front of you. Let us now see the benefits. Benefits we can get from such solution. For monitoring your process, you can customize yourself the screens from the IDE. You can also have access to variables with Node-RED. For web debug, you can remotely see your programs running in real time and even change variable values. So for both cases, no extra tool, only a web browser. No need of additional hardware. And for any kind of machine, at least it needs a web server on the machine outside Straton. And from everywhere, with anything, it could be a smartphone, it could be a tablet, it could be a computer. And you can even connect in Wi-Fi if your device has this communication feature. My part of presentation turns now to its end. Thank you. We expect we've given ideas for your product. Please put your questions in the comment zone. With pleasure, we will answer at the end of this webinar. Let us see the demo now. Thanks to Matteo. You can go. Matteo, thank you.
Thank you, Pascal, for this introduction. Now, I will share you my screen. Can I have the screen? Thank you, Pascal. To start this demo, I want to explain you how the data server works. On the first time, you have the Straton runtime. And this Straton runtime exchange with one share memory with our driver. And this share memory exchange with your web server. And you can communicate with your web server with and to exchange variable, you can use three type requests: CGI, fast CGI, and WebSocket. Now you know how the data server works, and we can go to the Straton editor. Like I have said earlier, to communicate between to have a communication between your Straton runtime and your share memory, you need one driver, and is this one, the link with embedded HTTP server. And how I say, Pascal, you can create some graphic view. With the Straton editor, you have one graphic editor with some graphic components. And if you want to create your page, you can just take one graphic editor and drag and drop it on the page. And if you want to link these graphic components to one variable, you can just take your variable and drag and drop it on your graphic component. If I double click, I see my variable is linked with this graphic component. Here you see just the graphic component, but I want to show you what it's possible to create with the graphic editor of Straton. Here I have created one monitoring page of a pump system. Here you can see the pump, the flow meter, and the device. Now I have my graphic, my monitoring page, I want to export them in HTML5. I just click on Export Graphic. I select HTML5, and here I can choose which page I want to export. I export all, and I can also choose what type request I want to use. For this presentation, I will use CGI. And on this wizard, you can take your page and transfer it directly on the target. I have already transferred my page, so I will go directly to my web browser. And here we refine my monitoring system of the pump. I can see my pump is running. I can see the value of my flow meter. With this page, I can follow the evolution of my process directly on this page. And with the Straton graphic editor, I can do a link with another page. Here, I have created another page for the monitoring of the bus. And here I can see the state of my bus, but I can also control some out. For example, I can open the door of the bus. I can switch on the bus headlight, and I can do one stop request. And if my smartphone is on the same network that my web server, I can also directly pilot my process and monitoring them directly on my smartphone. And this is for the export in HTML5. And now I want to show you the new functionality of Straton, the web monitoring. To do that, I will go to Tool and build one monitoring application. I select Generate in HTML5. And here we have the same result that we have seen earlier for the HTML5 page. But here I can find my program, my Facebook configuration, and my group variables group. I will select all, and I can select my request type, CGI, fast CGI, or WebSocket. I click on OK. And I can also transfer it directly on my target. Like for the HTML page, I have already transferred it. Here we are on the first page of the web monitoring. We are on the status page. Here we have some information on your process. I have one part with the connection state. I will see I communicate with my Straton runtime in CGI, and my connection state here, I'm connected. And I have the information on the runtime state. I have some information like the application name, the version of my application, and the cycle time. But the more important, on the Straton web monitoring, I can follow directly my program. Here I can follow, here we are the program who control my pump system. Here is for the flow meter. I can see directly the value change, and I can also force the variable. Here, if I make this variable to false, I shut down the change of the flow meter. I can do that with all programmation language. Here I am in FBD, but I can also do that in LD, ladder, and structured test in ST. And I can continue to force variable. You can also monitoring your field bus configuration. Here, I have one little configuration in Modbus slave. And here, I can follow my variable and I can force them. With that, I can control my exchange with another component, for example. And I can also follow my variable groups. If I retake the FBG program, here I can see the state of all variables and I can continue to force them. And if I reach one specific variable, I want find all variable with the pump. I can enter pump in the search bar, and here I will find all variable with pump. Here, if I take run pump 1, I can see this variable. It's on this variable group. This variable is used on this graphic, and is used on this program. And that's it for the demonstration. Thank you, and I hope this presentation enjoy you. Now, we can continue with the question and answer time. Pascal, I give you the line.
Thank you, Matteo. Hi. Thank you, Matteo. Now it's time for questions. We expect you have enjoyed this webinar, and we will manage the questions you have addressed in the chat zone. Let's start by the first one. First one was, is it available on Xenon Logic too? And it's linked also to the second question, which can we use on 9.4 version? So this remote monitoring is available since version 11 first. So it's not yet available on Xenon Logic.
Not for the moment.
Yes.
And now I see we are one first question, some question
about security access.
About security access. It's the very good question.
Yeah.
To secure your web server, to secure your page, you need to secure your web server. You can secure it with the HTTPS, but we can't secure the page with the Straton editor because it's just an export of HTML5 page. We have another question.
Yes. So to summarize, it is very important for us too, this such topic about cybersecurity. To summarize, in fact, the security is not addressed by Straton. It is addressed by the web server, which is often given by the operating system, the web server. So the security is not has to be managed only on Straton and mostly on the web server for an HTTPS, in fact.
Yes.
So we can secure it, but it's not the responsibility of Straton. It's outside, I should say.
I'm completely agree.
From what runtime version are there support for this? So it's, I said, it's available since version 11. Even if we were able to do a part of web monitoring in the previous version, like in version 10, data server was already available in version 10. You could display pages for operational views with version 10 and even with 9.4, I should say. But you don't have the execution of a program before the version 11. Another question is it possible to configure read-write, read-only access on variables on the web page depending on the user logged in?
Yes, it's a very good question. No, we don't have this possibility to make one user with high security, but we can configure directly your variable in read-write, but it's not configured with a logging user.
Not yet. Yeah, exactly. New question: can I add my own graphics elements?
Yes, I can have the controller in the screen.
You can show it. Go on, Matteo. Thank you.
If I return on the Straton editor, here I have one switch, but maybe your society have a graphic chart and you want to create your graphic element. So for the value of this switch, for example, I have one bitmap for the two states, for true and false. And I can change this bitmap. If you create your graphic for this switch, you can enter this graphic. Here it's for the switch on and for the switch off and the switch on.
Yeah, thank you, Matteo. You can see the possibilities are very big. Yeah. Other question: do you have a control request?
I'm sorry, I don't really understand this.
Could you give more details, Paulo, please, in the chat zone, and we will go to the other question. How fast are the variables exchanged?
Yeah, for the exchange of the variable, we have to do some tests. I don't want to say one thing. We can answer an exchange with 2000 milliseconds.
Yes.
And we have this test with CGI, fast CGI, and WebSocket.
And the fastest is the WebSocket, if I remember well.
It's not really the faster for the WebSocket. It's not really the faster. It's just he don't request more. Sorry, I don't find my word.
It needs more resources.
Yes, it needs more resources for the WebSocket. Yes.
Thank you. Yes, it's question linked to previous one, but is it possible to control which parts each user have access to into the monitoring application. It's not yet developed because, in fact, the monitoring application, do you mean the operational views? And in this case, the operational views have to be developed by the OEM, by you. So you could, depending on the user which is connected, but please note that this system provides HTML pages, so everyone can see these pages. So it's important to see that. Next question. Are you? I'm trying to avoid to miss one. Yes. Are you ever going to make a logic editor via HTML? First question. There is a remark just after. This would help build devices for which you don't need to store the Straton project on the PLC. So I can answer.
Yeah, you can.
It's on the roadmap, I should say. Yes, it's on the. Other question. We have a lot of questions, but we will try to be in time. Does it work correctly with 1660K variable? Does it work correctly with 60K variables?
We don't have do the test with this number of variable, but it depends a lot by your resources. It depends your network and your hardware. But I can give you a concrete answer on this number of variable. It really depends.
The question was also, what is the limit? What is the limit for a fluent run? For me, it's not clear exactly. When you mean 16K variable, you mean this amount of variable are variable with 60K size? It's still unclear.
A table with.
Is it stable?
I don't know. I let Paolo answer.
Anyway, if a question is unclear, and it seems, the answer is still unclear for you. Anyway, we get your name, Paolo, and we will answer you by email after the webinar. Then we can provide a complete answer. Thank you. When the page is created, another question. If I monitor some sensible data, technically anyone can have access to it. Is there a way to protect pages with a password or something equivalent?
No, for the moment, we don't have this solution to make a password to secure this your graphic page.
Yeah. Not yet, but I think we have to. What resources are needed?
Yes, good question. You don't need really one configuration. You just need one device with one Ethernet port and a device with where you can install one web server and where you can install Straton.
Yes, you need a web server into the device. Mostly it's coming with operating system. You need it can work on the Raspberry, for instance.
Yes. For this demonstration, I have do that on one little Raspberry.
Yeah. The question, does this web monitoring provide user control for preventing everyone could change values of variable? Yes, we have to. It's not done yet. Could you explain more the solution on the target side? Do you provide a web server inside Straton VM? So I think we have already a part of the answer. The solution on the target side. On the target side, there is the data server. It's a solution coming from Straton, And this data server, as explained by Matteo at the beginning of the demo, this data server is connected to the web server through WebSocket, through many possibilities. And web server belongs to the device. It's not. It's outside Straton furniture. It's coming from with the operating system and linked to. Does it work for target not using any operating system? We have very few cases where they can get without operating system, but you know the limits when you don't have the chief orchestra. Like in Xenon, there is a control management to allow only on user to change the value. We already answered, it's not yet. If you click a web button is the command buffered? So a click on a button always gets seen by the runtime. Is the command buffered? So a click on a button always gets seen by the runtime.
Yes, if the connection is available,
I think so. The signal is coming to Straton, so we think so. We can make tests, but it's done for, yes. The control management is more in case of HMI. Safety is only one user can control the machine. Yes, we got. This is the details coming after the first question about control management. Safety is only one user can control the machine. Yes.
And I see
control management, that means that you cannot connect to the machine with two people at the same time.
Yes.
Is it done?
It's done. You can two people can use your HTML page in the same time, and the two have the changement of the variable.
Yes, I know we got details also 16,000 variables in the project.
Yes.
Yeah, we can have 16,000 variables on the project, but if we want to display this quantity of data on the web server in one page or many data on one page, we have to check the limits. It's not done yet, I'm afraid. We will answer you separately to give you the complete answer about this point. We don't have this
answer, and we don't have this test. But I can propose you to contact the Straton support, and we can do this test. And you just need to know what hardware you use.
Yeah. We got a new question. The HHM used for this exchange can be seen in Straton workbench.
No, it's this CHM, this share memory. It's not the protocol share memory used in the Filbus configuration. This share memory is our data server.
Not the same process, I should say. Not the same process. It was yes, a new one. Can you write in French in your correspondence? Okay, we will. Yes. We will try to bring English or French answers distinctly. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Do you have other questions in your mind coming? You got many questions, and it's interesting because it shows the way to go, where to go. Thank you for your feedback. That was very fruitful. Thank you. We can wait 1 minute if you have some new questions before ending with this webinar. Thank you very much. Yes. Can we have a presentation after the meeting? Yes.
Yes, sure.
In fact, you will have access into the video of this webinar through a link we will send to you, and you can also access to our YouTube channel in a few days, in which you will be able to see this webinar, but also the previous ones, because we already did one webinar for embedded systems, and we also did one webinar for utilities and energy. So you could have a look also on your YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, to see these movies and others like tutorials and movies from our partners, like the one we have mentioned, like at Bodersen, for instance. You can see movies from our partners also from this YouTube channel. Thank you very much, all of you. We wish you a nice day or a nice evening, depending. A good night for some. Thank you all, and we expect to see you soon.
And thank you everyone. I really hope this webinar enjoy you, and I hope we can speak on the Straton support.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice day.
Bye.